Hello everyone and welcome to the Reactive Angular course from the Angular University. In this lesson we are going to set up your development environment. You will need a proper development environment in order to code along as we go. That is the best way to take this course. However, this is optional. You can also simply watch the videos and learn that way as well. The course is designed to be useful if you take it in either way. This course comes with a running GitHub repository. So the first thing that we're going to do is to head over to the Angular University GitHub page. From here, we are going to scroll down, and here in the Find the Repository text box, we are going to type the name of the repository Reactive-Angular course. You should see here this repository Reactive Angular course, how to build Angular applications in reactive style using plain RxJS. So this is the correct repository. If you can still see this repository in your search, please don't use it. This is the old version of the course. So again, the correct repository that we are looking for is called Reactive Angular course. Let's click into it and let's scroll down in order to confirm that we are indeed in the right course. So this is the correct course with this thumbnail that we can see on the screen. The master branch of this code repository that we see here contains the final version of the course code. So if you are coding along throughout the course and you find some difficulties, you can always check back here in the master branch of our repository and see what the final solution for that section looks like. However, in order to start the course, we are not going to be using the master branch. Instead, we are going to click here on the branch dropdown, and you are going to see here multiple options available. We are going to be choosing the one-start branch. So this branch contains the code that we will need right now at the beginning of the course. You can obtain the correct version of the code in two ways by using here the clone or download button. So if you choose download zip, you are going to get a zip file containing the one-start branch or the master branch, depending on the branch that you have selected here on the branch dropdown. However, if you prefer to use Git, you can also clone the repository and switch to the one-start branch. We are going to show you the commands that you need to do that further on in this lesson. In one of these two ways, you are going to get the lessons code and you are going to have it installed in your machine. In order to be able to use the code, you're going to need a couple of things in your development environment. So the first thing that you need to install is a version of Node.js. You can head over to nodejs.org and get the long-term support version of Node, which is the LTS version. I recommend that you use the LTS version and not the current version, as the long-term support version tends to be a bit more stable. Now you can also optionally install Git in your development environment. This is going to allow you to easily switch branches in your repository, and each branch is going to correspond to different sections of the course. Besides having Node in your machine, you are also going to need an integrated development environment or IDE. This course is going to be done using the WebStorm IDE, which is an excellent JavaScript and TypeScript IDE. You can download here a free trial, but if you prefer a completely free IDE, you can also use Visual Studio Code from Microsoft, which is also an excellent IDE. Once you have everything installed in your machine, meaning Node, optionally Git, and also one of the two TypeScript IDEs, we are now going to install the lessons code. So let's remember that the branch that we need is the one-start branch from the Reactive Angular course. Again, you can get this branch by cloning it as a zip file or simply by cloning the repository and switching to that branch. Either way, you're going to have the lessons code installed in your machine, and we are now going to switch to the WebStorm IDE in order to finish the installation process. So we are here under the Reactive Angular course folder, which is the root folder of our repository. Now in this case, I did not download the code as a zip file, I instead cloned it using Git. So now if I type git branch, we can see that we are on the master branch. So if you want to switch to the start branch, which is the correct branch that we need at this point in this course, we're going to run the following command, git checkout one-start. This is going to switch automatically to the one-start branch. From here, and making sure that you have the Node long-term support version installed on your machine, we're going to run the following command from the Reactive Angular course folder, npm install. This is going to take a moment, but after a while, all the necessary dependencies are going to be installed under the Node modules folder. After a while, the installation is going to be completed and we are now ready to use the lessons code. The first thing that we're going to do is to open here a second terminal where we're going to run the command npm run server. This is going to start a small Node HTTP server that will be available here on port 9000. This contains a very simple server that we can use to retrieve some data from our Angular frontend. We can also modify some data in memory in our server. The server does not contain a real database. The data exists in memory on the server. It's just a simple server for demonstration purposes. You can confirm that the server is correctly running by opening here a new browser tab, and we're going to access port 9000, and let's access, for example, the /API/courses REST endpoint. So if we access it, we are going to see that indeed we are retrieving here a JSON payload containing what looks like a list of courses. This is the data that our application is going to be displaying on the screen to the user. The next thing that we need to do is to start our front end that is going to connect to this backend automatically. So we're going to run here the command npm start. And it's important that we use this command npm start and not the Angular CLI command ngserve. npm start is also going to be using ngserve, but it will also pass it some extra parameters, as we will see. So as we can see, npm start uses ngserve to start our server, but it also passes to the Angular CLI a special proxy configuration. We are going to understand later on in the course what this configuration is for. Meanwhile, after a couple of minutes, the server startup is going to be completed and we can now access our frontend. We can do so by accessing localhost 4200. This is going to take a moment, but after a while you are going to see here a small Angular frontend running. So this is the starting point of our reactive Angular course. This is a small sample application that is currently written in imperative style. We are going to refactor this application into reactive style and talk about the differences between the two approaches. We are also going to improve the user experience by applying some lightweight state management techniques.